Welcome back, students. Now we are going to discuss another important continuous distribution, that is normal distribution. Normal distribution can be called as mother of all the distribution, because if any phenomena, if you are not aware about the nature of the distributions, you can assume that it follow normal distribution. Most of the statistical tests or whatever analytical tools which are going to use in this course going to have some assumptions that it follow normal distributions. Knowing the properties and behavior and assumptions about the normal distribution is very important for this course. Some of the properties: normal distribution is bell shaped curve, right? It will form a bell shaped curve. It is symmetrical, you can fold it. So, after folding, both the sides are same. Another important property: mean, median and modes are equal. The location is characterized by its mean mu. The spread is characterized by standard deviation. The random variable has an infinite theoretical range, that is minus infinity to plus infinity. The formula for normal probability density function is f of x equal to 1 by 2 pi into sigma e to the power 1 minus 1 by 2 x minus mu by sigma whole square, where E is the mathematical constant, the value is 2.71828, pi is the mathematical constant, the value is 3.14, mu is the population mean, sigma is the population standard deviation, x is any value of the continuous variable. The shape of the normal distribution will change based on its spread. By varying parameters mu and sigma, we obtain different normal distributions. For example, this one where the sigma is very low, this case sigma is little normal, this is sigma is very big. Changing mu shift the distribution left or right. If you increase the value of mu, it can go right side or left side. Changing sigma standard deviation increases or decreases the spread. Generally, when you decrease the sigma, the spread will decrease. When you increase the sigma, the spread will increase. There is another normal distribution, standardized normal distribution. Any normal distribution with mean and standard deviation combination can be transformed into standardized normal distribution. One thing what you have to do, we need to transform x unit into z units. Z is nothing but that conversion method is x minus p by sigma. The standardized normal distribution has mean 0 and the variance or standard deviation is 1. The translate from x to the standardized normal, that is a z distribution, by subtracting the mean of the x and dividing by its standard deviation. So, that conversion from a normal distribution to standardized normal distribution is done with the help of this z transformation, where z equal to x minus mu by sigma. X is the random variable, mu is the mean of the population, sigma is the standard deviation of the population. The formula for the standardized normal probability density function, if you substitute z equal to x minus mu by sigma in our previous equation, it will become f of z equal to 1 by root of 2 pi e power minus z square by 2, where pi is the mathematical constant, z is any value of the standardized normal distribution. Standardized normal distribution, the shape how they look like, also known as the z distribution, mean is 0, standard deviation is 1. The value above the mean have positive z value, values below the mean will have negative z value. Let us see how to do that conversion from normal distribution to standardized normal distribution. If x is distributed normally with mean of 100 and standard deviation of 50, the z value of x is 200, then corresponding z value is x minus mu by sigma, x is 200 minus mu 100 divided by sigma 50 equal to 2.0. This says that x 200 is 2 standard deviation above the mean of 100. okay. That is a 2 increments of 50 units. The z value nothing but how many times of its standard deviation, that is nothing but your z. Here 2 increments of 50, that is why the z value is 2. Look at the conversion, now this will be so convenient for you. The red one where the mean is 0, the x 200, we have asked to find out when x equal to 200 what is the corresponding z value. The red one shows in the simple normal distribution, the black one shows the standardized normal distribution. You see that the mean of the distribution is 100, in a standardized scale it becomes 0. When x equal to 200 in a normal distribution, in standardized normal distribution the x and corresponding z value is 2, okay, where the mean mu equal to 0, sigma equal 1. Note that the distribution is the same, only the scale has changed. We can express the problem in original units or standardized units, but there is an advantage. Why we have to convert into standardized normal distribution? Sometime you may be required to find out the area of a distributions, because if you are not standardizing, you cannot use that your z table, z statistical table. Every time to know the area you have to integrate it, that is a very cumbersome process. That is why every normal distribution is converted into standardized normal distribution for the convenience of looking at the z value directly from the table. That will simplify our task. The probability is measured by area under the curve. In a continuous distribution, the probability, you know that it is measured area under the curve. Suppose always it has to be expressed between A and B. If you want to know the probability exactly at A or exactly B, that will not form the area, so the probability is 0. So in the context of continuous distribution, the meaning of probability is area under the curve. But if it is a discrete probability distributions, the probability can be read directly by looking at x and corresponding p of x. Total area under the curve is 1 and the curve is symmetric. So half is the above the mean, half is below. So see p of minus infinity to x less than or equal to mu is 0.5. Similarly, mu less than or equal to x less than or equal to plus infinity is 0.5. So the total area is 1. Suppose if we want to know the area z less than 2.00, see this was when the z is less, this area is 0.9772. One way you can read directly from the z table, suppose in the rows the z value is given, the column the decimals of is given. Suppose if you want to know z 2.00, you have to look at in row 2.00, the corresponding area is this one. Say the rows shows the value of z to the first decimal point, the column gives the value of z to the second decimal point. The value within the table gives the probability from z minus infinity up to desired z value. When we look at the table, statistical table, especially z table, you should be very careful whether the area is given minus infinity. There are two possibilities. Sometime the area may be given minus infinity to plus x value. Sometime area may be given only the positive value, this side 0, positive value of z is given. If I want to know, if you want to read the negative value of z, because it is symmetric, so you can read just only the positive value, then we can take that value into the negative side. So finding normal probability procedure, we will see one problem. To find p of a less than x less than b when x is distributed normally. The first one is draw the normal curve of the problem in terms of x. Whenever you are going to find out area, it is always good to draw the distribution, draw the normal distribution. Then you can intuitively you can read from the picture. So, the next step is translate x value to z values, then use standardized normal table where you can get the area. Let x represents the time it takes to download an image file from the internet. Suppose x is the normal with mean 8 and standard deviation 5. If we want to know what is the probability of x less than 8.6, that means what is the probability of downloading time is below 8.6, right. So, first you have to mark the mean, then you have to find out this x value is 8.6. So, since it is asked less than 8.6, the left side area. So, the first step is this 8.6 has to be converted into, you can integrate it by using normal distributions. You can substitute minus infinity to 8.6, you can integrate it, we will get the area, there is no problem, but it is a very time consuming process. So, one easy way is you have to convert that normal distribution into standard normal distribution. That means the x value has to be converted into z scale. You can you can use the table to find out the area for the corresponding z value. Suppose x is a normal with mean 8 and standard deviation 5, x less than 8.6, use the z equal to x minus mu by sigma formula to get z value when x equal to 8.6. So, we got 0.12. So, now when z value is 0.12, you can read this value directly from the normal table to know the probability. You see that z value is 0.12. So, you can say z value is 0.12. So, this area is 0.5748. Finding normal probability, suppose x is greater than 8.6. So, now we have to look at the area of the right side. So, P of x greater than 8.6 is equal to, that we have to convert it to z scale. After getting, since it is greater than, since the area is 1 minus P of z less than 0.12 will give the blue side area, right. So, 1 when z equal to 0.12, corresponding area is 0.54. So, this side area is, after subtracting from 1, we are getting 0.4522. Suppose x is a normal with mean 8 and standard deviation 5. So, find P of 8 less than x less than 8.6. Now, the two value of x is given, both the values has to be converted. When x equal to 8, we are getting z value 0. When x equal to 8.6, we are getting z value 0.12. So, now we have to know the area of z0 to z0.12. So, that means 0 to 0.12. One way from the table is, first you find the area up to minus infinity to z value 0.12. So, we are getting 0.5478. Then subtract when z equal to 0. When z equal to 0, left side area we know it is a 0.5. So, the remaining is 0.0478. Now, just the reverse of that, the probability is given, you have to find out the x value. Okay. Let x represents the time it takes to download an image file from the internet. Suppose x is normal with mean 8 and standard deviation 5. Find x such that 20% of the download times are less than x. There are 2 points here, one is less than x, another one is 20%. So, on the left hand side, when area equal to 0.2, what is the corresponding x value? Okay. So, for that, first you have to find out z value, from the z you have to find out the x value. Okay. Now, we look at the table. So, when area is equal to 0.2, corresponding z value is minus 0.84. This is the value of z. So, we know that z value is minus 0.84. Yeah, this formula has come from this simple formula, x minus mu by sigma. Now, we know the value of z, from this you have to find out value of x. Okay. And one more thing, when you are finding the value of z, you should be very careful what kind of normal distribution you are using to find out the value of z. If normal distribution is like this, that is area is given from 0 to positive z, right. So, if you are measuring area on the left hand side. So, we will get some z value, but you have to attach negative sign to that. So, we should be very careful. So, mu equal to 8.0 plus minus 0.84 multiplied by 5, we are getting 3.80. So, 20% of the download times from the distribution with the mean 8 and standard deviation 5 are less than 3.8 seconds. Another important thing is assess normality, because the normality assumption is very important for other type of inferential statistics. I will tell you why it is important, because we will be studying a concept called central limit theorem, where when you do the sampling of the sampling, that will follow normal distributions. So, lot of many analytical tools, many statistical tools follow that assumption that data should follow normal distributions. That is why as soon as you collect the data, the first step is cleaning the data. When the cleaning in that process is you have to verify whether the data follow normal distribution or not. Otherwise you may not, otherwise you may end up with choosing a wrong statistical techniques or analytical techniques. Okay. It is important to evaluate how well the data set is approximated by a normal distribution. Normally distributed data should approximate theoretical normal distribution, like the normal distribution is bell shaped where the mean is equal to the median. The empirical rule applies to the normal distribution. The interquartile range of a normal distribution is 1.33 standard deviations. These are the way to test the normality. Another way to assess the normality is construct a charts or graph. Now you can look at the shape of the distribution. For small or moderate sized data set, do stem and leaf display and box and whisker plot and check whether it is looks symmetrical or not. As I told you in the beginning of the lectures, if you look at the stem and leaf plot, it should follow this kind of shape, then we can say it follow normal distributions. In the box and whisker plot, for example, box and whisker plot is like this, right. The middle line, that is median line, should be middle of the box, then only we can say the data set follow normal distribution. For a large data set, does the histogram or polygon appears bell shaped? You can draw a histogram also, you can verify whether it follow normal distribution. Other way, you can compute descriptive summary measures, whether you can check mean, median, mode have the similar value, is the interquartile range approximately 1.33 sigma, is the range is approximately 6 sigma. These are the some descriptive measures to check whether the data follow normal distribution or not. Then you can find the skewness. When the skewness is 0, then we can say this data follow normal distribution. Some more example to check the normality. Observe the distribution of the data set. These are the conditions. Do approximately 2/3 of the observations lie within the plus or minus 1 sigma, then we can say it follow normal distribution. Do approximately 80% of the observations lie within plus or minus 1.28 standard deviations, or do approximately 95% of the observation lie within the mean or plus or minus 2 standard deviations. This is the Z table. You see, in the previously the Z table is starting from 0, it is not starting from minus infinity. So this is second decimal, this one, suppose Z is 0, the probability is 0. Here it is given, what is given? Only one side. If it is, no, the area is given only this one. So if you are finding, you have to add 0.5. Suppose if you want to 0.0, you have to add 0.5 to get the Z table. Another important point which I am planning to willing to share with you, you see this, when Z equal to 0, Z equal to 1, see this is 0.3413, right, between 0 and 1. Suppose if you want to know minus infinity to 1, you have to add 0.5 with that, plus 0.5. So you will get the value. Another one, when you look at the normal distribution, I will come back to that. If X is normally distributed with mu 485 and sigma 105, so the 485 to 600, when X is 485, you have to convert to Z scale, it is 0. When X equal to 600, corresponding Z value is 1.1. So z is 0 to 1.4, 0.3643 is the area under the curve. Dear students, we have seen so far the properties of normal distribution, then we have seen standardized normal distribution and normal distribution, how these are interrelated, and we have seen how to find out the area with the help of table. One property, you can look at the normal distribution shape is like this. So, you look at this, it will not touch, this is x axis, y is your probability f of x, it will not touch the x axis. You may have this doubt why it is not touching this distribution, normal distribution, why it is not touching x axis, because suppose if I am plotting age of the students in the class follow normal distribution, see the average age is say 19, right. There is a possibility somebody, suppose I am closing this way, somebody's age may be say around 30, somebody age may be around say around 10. So, since this normal distribution was drawn with the help of sample, I was not exactly knowing that this kind of rare value of x, whether it is x equal to 30 or x equal to 10. So, why I am not closing, why this normal distribution not touching x axis, because we have given provision for the rare events. That means x is may be very high value, x may be very low value, but I am not sure about that. That is why the normal distribution did not touch with the x axis. The another doubt you may have, when you look at the z table, the value of z most of the time, I go back, I will show you, see this, the value of z is 3.5. The question may come, why the value of z is maximum 4 or 5 in the statistical table. You remember in the beginning of the class, I was saying from the mean, if you travel on either side with 1 sigma distance, you can capture 68 percentage. If you travel 2 sigma distance from the mean, that is this distance, 2 sigma distance minus 2 sigma distance, you can capture 95 percentage of the area of the normal distribution. If you travel 3 sigma distance, this extreme distance, I can use some other color, please bear with me. If you travel 3 sigma distance, this portion, if you travel 3 sigma distance, you can cover 99.7 percentage of the data. Okay. So, why the value of z is not beyond 3? The possibility of the z value is beyond 3 is only 0.3 percentage. At the same time, the probability of x value to become extremely high or extremely low is only 0.3 percentage. What is the meaning of that? Only 0.3 percentage chance the value of z will be more than 3. That is why all statistical tables are given only 3.5 or 4, not beyond that. Okay. The another reason are also why we are not closing with x axis, the probability of that extreme events to happen is only 0.3 percentage, provided if it is following normal distribution. Now, I will summarize, dear students, that so far we have seen different type of probability distributions. In the previous class we have seen some of the continuous distribution. In this class we have seen an important normal distribution, that is a normal distribution. We have learnt properties, normal distribution and standard normal distribution, how to convert normal distribution into standard normal distribution, how to refer z table to find out the area that we have seen. The next class, with the help of Python, we will use how to find out area under the curve or how to find out the mean standard deviation of different distributions. Thank you very much.